Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Angie Kistler. I am very proud to be the Director of Nursing here at Sierra Tucson in Tucson, Arizona. A little background on myself. I am a Tucson transplant. I actually was born and raised in the suburbs of Kansas City, Missouri. I received my Bachelor of Science of Nursing degree at the University of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas, Rock Chalk. And then I received my master's degree at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. My master's degree is actually in human psychology. Straight out of my nursing degree, I went into the ER. I was an ER trauma nurse um, throughout my nursing career until I moved to Arizona in 2015. When I moved here to Tucson, I decided to switch gears and follow my passion, and I became a mental health nurse. And here I am today. I'm actually going to turn my camera off while I do the presentation because I tend to get a little animated. So I will pop back up at the end when we do our question and answers. Let's get started. Okay, so my presentation today is staying positive under pressure. I'm sure that 100% of us have pressure on a daily basis, and I just want to give you some tips on how to stay positive. Connection between your thoughts and emotions. So like the PowerPoint says, what consumes your mind controls your life. Your moods are created by your cognitions or your thoughts. Cognition refers to the way you look at things, your perceptions, your attitudes, and your beliefs. Another way to think about this is you feel the way you do because of the thoughts that you're thinking at this very moment. So with that being said, I would like to take a moment and I just want you to stop and think about what you're thinking about. What consumes your mind on a regular basis? I'll give you a couple seconds. All right. Understanding positive thinking and self-talk. So you have a countless stream of thoughts that run through your head constantly, every single day. These thoughts can be positive and they can be negative. This is called self-talk, and it usually comes with logic and reason. However, some may arise from misconceptions because you have a lack of information. Negative thoughts lead to a pessimistic outlook on life, while positive thoughts lead to an optimistic outlook. So a second ago, I had you stop and think about what you actually think about. My question to you is, do your thoughts generally focus on the positive, or do they tend to drift off towards the negative? I would be lying if I said mine always were positive. I fight it. It's a battle. Sometimes you instantaneously in a situation want to go towards the negative. What I want you to do and what I want you to learn, if you don't learn anything else out of this presentation, I want you to remember this. I want you to feed the positivity and starve the negativity. Feed the positive, starve the negative. Here are some common forms of negative or irrational talk: filtering, personalizing, catastrophizing, polarizing. Filtering is magnifying the negative aspects of a situation and ignoring everything that was positive in the situation. So for example, say you did bad on a test. If you're filtering that negativity, your thoughts are immediately going to go to, I'm never going to pass a test in this class. Personalizing is whenever something goes bad, you blame yourself. So this is more like self-blame. And the majority of the time you're blaming yourself for a circumstance that you had zero control over. A good example of this is, say you had a friend come visit you here in Tucson, and you took them to all the tourist sites here in Tucson, went to lunch, just had a day. And at the end of the day, they are just negative. They said they didn't have fun. That's out of your control. You can't control how they're thinking. Catastrophizing. This is automatically anticipating the worst of a situation. Usually your worries escalate quickly Um, for example, say you are expecting a check and in the mail, you expect the check in the mail on Monday. You go to your mailbox and the check's not there. This irrational thinking would make you go towards, well, I'm never going to receive this check. It's never going to come. Polarizing is seeing everything in black and white, or good and bad, which unfortunately our world is not black and white, and you do need to, see the gray sometimes. This thinking there is no gray area. A good example of this is, say that you give a speech and you fumble a part of that speech. At the end of your speech, all you focus on is that one part that you fumbled up, and in your mind the whole thing was a mess. So here are some ways to learn positive thinking. So earlier I had you stop and think about actually what you think about on a daily basis. And do your thoughts go positive or do they go negative? I want you to weed out the misconceptions and the irrational thinking by challenging these thoughts with rational, positive thoughts. Here's another way. Do not say anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to anyone else. This is really hard because I know that sometimes when we look in the mirror, we want to pull out all of our flaws, and just stop and think about that. Would you be telling this to someone else? Probably not. So don't say it to yourself. Your life is generally moving toward your strongest thought. So if you're staying positive, you're going to have a more positive outlook. And here's a way to change the way you think. Because remember, I want you to feed the positivity and starve the negativity. So here's a couple of examples. Some negative self-talk might be, I've never done this before. We'll put a positive spin on that and say, hey, I get to learn something new. Another negative is, this is just too complicated. I can't do this. Put a positive spin. I can do this. I can tackle it from this way, and if that doesn't work, I can try another angle. Negative self-talk. There's not enough time. There's just not enough time in my day to get all this work done. Think about it a different way. Okay, I have to get this done, so I need to reevaluate my priorities. I need to reschedule my day and make sure that this gets done. There's no way it will ever work. Well, let's put a positive spin on that and say, yes, I can try and I can make it work. And if it doesn't work one way, we'll try it another way. Remember, feed the positivity, starve the negativity. Stress. We all have it. This is our body's response to events in our life. I want you to have a positive mental attitude that will help you handle the stress in a very healthy way. Here's some steps to manage stress. Admit to yourself the feelings that you have. It's okay to feel stressed. Just identify that. And then you want to try and figure out what the source of your stress is. If possible, remove the stress and change the response to your stress. So 2020 has not exactly been the year I think everyone thought it was going to be. It's pretty stressful. We have COVID. We have kids at home that are homeschooling instead of being in a classroom. Because of COVID, there's a lot of people that aren't working, so there's financial stress. It's an election year. That can be very stressful. So I want you to think about what makes you stressful. So if watching the news gets you stressed out, maybe limit yourself on your news. Maybe don't watch it 2 or 3 times a day, but maybe just 30 minutes. Eliminate some of that stress. Social media. Social media can make you very stressful sometimes. I know it does me. I'll be strolling through my Facebook and I see all this political stuff and people arguing, and you just have to step away. Just step away from it, and it's okay. Unplug from the Facebook, the TV, and just do something that gives you joy. Identifying the source, trying to remove it, and if you can't remove it, then just change your response to it. Here are some ways to reduce the negative effects of the stress that you are feeling. You can learn relaxation techniques. You can just, like I said, do something that you enjoy. Exercising on a regular basis, eating a healthy diet, getting plenty of rest. These sound very simple, yet I understand that they are not always that simple. Um, Relaxation techniques, I actually get up every morning. Well, I try to get up every morning, at least 4 or 5 times a week, and I do yoga. Yoga just gets my day started. I try and just relax and start thinking positive from the minute I start my day. Um, Simply doing things that you enjoy. I love music, so that's a relaxation technique for me. Um, Exercising on a regular basis, staying fit physically and mentally is very, very good. Eating a healthy diet, sometimes that's easier said than done. I know we're very busy and sometimes we want to stop and get fast food, but staying on a healthy diet will really help reduce the effects of stress. And last but not least, getting plenty of rest. Try to relax right before you go to sleep. Some people choose to do yoga in the evening because it helps them relax and they get a good night's sleep. I choose to just unwind, and I usually play a little game on my iPad and hopefully get a good night's sleep. How to counter negative thoughts. So I love this picture on the slide. The same old thinking gives the same old results, which is exactly true. So I'm trying to give you some new ways to think so you will have new positive results. Talking back to the internal critic, so talking back to yourself. Train yourself to recognize and write down the self-critical thoughts as they go through your mind, and learn why these thoughts are distorted. Use mental biofeedback. Monitor your negative thoughts with a risk counter or just tallying up. If you notice you have more negative thoughts at work, just keep a little tally throughout the day. Um, Click the button if you're using a risk counter or tallying it up every time a negative thought crosses your mind. And at the end of the day, tally that up, keep a journal. I was really good, to be honest with you, I was really good at keeping a journal until a few months ago, and I need to get back on it because it really is nice to see your progression, and it's also really nice to go back later and read the things that you were thankful for that day. I know I just ran across my journal from last year, and just strolling through it made me smile, made me happy because I seen every day that I had something to be thankful for. So keeping that will help you to see doing these techniques will help you have less negative thoughts throughout the day. The triple column technique is actually another really good way to counter negative thoughts. This is a way to get a handle on and control the thoughts that you're having. When you have a negative thought, stop and ask yourself, what thoughts are going through my mind right now? What am I actually saying to myself? And just trying to figure out, why is this upsetting me so much? One example on here, your automatic thought is, I never do anything right. The distorted thinking is your overgeneralization. And a rational response to this negative thought would be, that's ridiculous. I do a lot of things right. Another example might be, I'm boring. The rational response to I'm boring is, I'm not always boring. Sometimes I'm funny. Sometimes just maybe when I'm in a negative attitude, I'm boring. But when I'm in a positive attitude, I'm funny and I'm fun to be around. Another example, I will be alone forever. So this is a fortune-telling, distorted thinking. Just because one relationship was bad doesn't mean you will never be in a relationship. You will always be lonely. As I stated several times, I want you to feed the positivity and I want you to starve the negativity. You want to give your mind time to breathe and rest. So one way is to complete random acts of kindness. Me and my husband do this quite often. We'll be at a restaurant and we will pay it forward. We will pay for someone's meal. Say we see an individual eating a meal by himself. We will ask our waitress to put his meal on our bill. Say you're in a Starbucks line. Pay for the car behind you. It's amazing how good it will make you feel, but when it comes back around to you, it's just a feeling I can't even explain. So recently, me and my husband were in a drive-through line, and I didn't bring my purse. So we ordered our food, and we started going through the line, and I panicked because I didn't have my wallet, and I wasn't sure if he had his, and I thought, how are we going to pay for this food? And he did have his wallet, by the way. But when we got to the counter, the car in front of us had paid for our food. So just little things like that. I promise you, serving other people is it's so rewarding. Take a moment to reflect on all the gratitude you have for the day in a journal. Like I said earlier, keeping that journal at night. Maybe that's the last thing you do to help you relax. You sit down and you write down every single thing that you were thankful for. Of course, you're going to have some things you weren't very thankful for, but focusing on those positive things, it will really help. As I said earlier, limit your intake of news, social media. Take a break from it. Limit yourself on the news, 30 minutes a day. Social media, if you're scrolling down and you start to get negative or stressed, jump off. Do something else. Video chat a family member or friend that makes you laugh. So I'm guilty of this. I do this every day when I leave work. I walk to the car, I text my husband, I say I'm on my way home, and then I call my mom. Believe it or not, I call my mom. At 50 years old, I call my mom every single day. She's one of my best friends. She makes me laugh. She helps me focus on, sometimes I want to start spewing all my negative stuff from the day, and she's like, nope, let's talk about this positive. So if you have a friend or family member that does that for you, call them. Smile. That's one of the best things you can do. It's contagious too. So if you smile at someone that doesn't seem very happy, you just may make their day and make them more positive as well. Meditate. Meditation is really good. I'll be honest, I don't do this. I want to learn how to do meditation, but many of my friends, that's the one way that they sit and relax and they focus on the positive and starve that negativity. Remember, attitude is everything. It will help you get through the day. Having a positive attitude, I promise you, if you wake up in the morning and you're negative throughout the day, when you sit down that night to write in your journal, you're probably not going to say, this was a great day. So let's have a great day. Start out positive. Think of everything that you have to be thankful for and focus on that. My final thought. This is a quote from A.R. Bernard, and it speaks volumes. The quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thoughts. So stay positive. Once again, feed the positive and starve the negative. All right. Are there any questions? I'm going to come back now. All right. Can you expand on changing your response to the stress? Yes. So say, I'll use the speech, for example. So you fumbled in a spot, and you come off stage, and in your mind you're thinking, I just ruined that whole speech, all because I fumbled that one spot. But you have someone that walks up to you and they tell you how amazing that speech was to them, that they learned this, they are going to look at something different. Focus on what they told you that was positive, and don't focus on that negativity of the spot that you fumbled up on. Let's see what other questions we have here. How do you teach yourself to stop and create positive habits? Great question. Honestly, the best way is repetition. This is not easy. I'm not going to lie. I am one of them that as soon as something happens, I kind of want to tend to focus. I drift off to the negativity. But by catching myself, I can start to focus on more of what was good in the situation or what I need to do to make the situation better. So I promise repetition is key to this. What if you're not sure of the source of your stress? Um, yeah, this is a tough question. Sometimes you don't know what's stressing you out. You don't know if it's home or if it's work, or you just simply don't know. My reaction to that is to step away from whatever you're doing and go for a walk. Or sometimes just doing regular daily activities, you forget about everything going on around you and beautiful things come to mind. So taking a walk, stepping outside, to me, music. I love music, and that is, if I don't know what's stressing me out, I can just step away, listen to some music, and it will really help my mood. How do you start to change a negative thought about a person? That's a great question, Nancy. I think this can be more difficult if it's a certain person. Probably the easiest way is to remember that you can't change them. You can't change. You can't make them enjoy themselves. You can't make them be positive. Remember, don't focus on you. That you can't make them. They can't make themselves. So focus on what you can see that's good in them. Say maybe they helped you with a situation. So don't let their negativity rub off on you. I guess that's the easiest way. And my last question, I can only imagine the stress that you had as an ER nurse, and how did you deal with it? That is amazing. Yes, being an ER nurse was very stressful. There were good nights, there were bad nights. There were some nights I left crying over what I saw and experienced. And I think focusing on, a lot of times when I left work, I would actually call my best friend. And sometimes I didn't even have to say anything, and she didn't have to say anything. I would just cry, and she always told me I was her hero because I was doing something that she couldn't do. But just kind of separating yourself from the situation can help you. I know stress at work can be very difficult, and just stepping away. I know sometimes here we'll have a situation, and I will actually just go in my office and become one with myself. Think about where I'm at, what I'm doing. Might even say a little prayer and get through the day. But just separating yourself from it. All right, I want to thank you all. Go out there today, smile, be the light, and have a great day. Thank you.